I just want to address the elephant in the room. I feel like a fraud. I know at some point here in the channel, I said that I don't like musicals, and I keep making videos about musicals. But you know, there's just some really good musicals out there, unfortunately. And maybe I lied to myself. Maybe I am a musical fan. And that's just something that I have to come to terms with. But anyway, today we are going to be talking about Frank Oz's Little Shop of Horrors. Yes, the same Frank Oz who is, I thought Frank Oz voiced Kermit the Frog, but apparently he does not, which kind of like, you know, distorts my brain a little bit. But he does voice Miss Piggy and Fozzie Bear and my boy Yoda, but he just doesn't voice Kermit the Frog, which is kind of crazy to me. I thought it was Frank Oz all along. But anyway, the guy who voices Yoda, the puppeteer from the Muppets, Frank Oz, directed a musical called Little Shop of Horrors. And if you haven't seen it, basically it's about this guy named Seymour, and he discovers a alien plant, and then he discovers that the alien plant needs to eat people to live and survive and grow. And then since he discovered this alien creature, he's like becoming more famous and all that. And the plant is kind of like, the plant is sentient and talks to Seymour, and he's like, yo, if you feed me people, I can give you your greatest desires in the planet. And so in this version of the story, Seymour doesn't like directly kill anyone per se, but he does feed people to the plant, and the plant eats them. All right. And I just wanted to talk about this film because there's a not a complicated history, but there is sort of a complicated history behind this film. And I just want to talk about it because I think it's interesting, because there was originally a film called Little Shop of Horrors in 1960 with basically the same plot, right? But Seymour was he was just like killing people. Like he was just killing people in order to help the plant grow. And the plant is called Audrey 2. Seymour's love interest in the film her name is Audrey, and he named the plant Audrey 2. And in the original 1960 film, Audrey 2 didn't really have a personality. He was just, you know, saying, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. And that was about it. And Seymour kept feeding the plant and kept killing people. Seymour was a pretty evil guy. I'm not going to lie. He was just killing people. And I believe that he died in the original film, if I'm not mistaken. But after this, I don't know when, but the guy, I don't know his name, but the guy, No, never mind. I was about to say something false. Anyway, at some point in time after the first film was made, there was a musical made, an off-Broadway musical made called Little Shop of Horrors. And in this version of the story, Audrey 2 became like more of a character, and it had a voice, and it talked, and it sang, and it was a silly little guy. And at the end of the musical, Audrey and Seymour die fighting off Audrey 2, and Audrey 2 kind of just stays on stage and kind of sings a little song and is all merry and happy. And then that takes us to what I want to talk about, is the 1986 film directed by Frank Oz. And the original cut of the film that they showed to audiences before the theatrical release, there was a version of the film where Seymour first the plant calls up Audrey on the phone, and he's like, yo, come to the flower shop. And she goes to the flower shop, and then she tries to bite and kill and eat Audrey, and then Seymour saves her life, but like she got bit up too much, so she kind of just dies. And then after this, Seymour, he tries to fight the Audrey 2. He tries to kill the plant after the plant. No. First, he feeds the dead body of Audrey to Audrey 2, because she was like, oh my gosh, if you feed me to the plant after I die, I'll always be one with the plant, and then you can be with me forever, and you can be famous and you know, be happy and things of that nature. So he like feeds the love of his life to this man-eating plant. And then after this, something goes wrong, and the plant kills Seymour. Seymour tries to kill the plant, but he can't. He tries to use a gun, he tries to use an axe, but he just can't kill the plant. And eventually the plant kills him as well. And then you want to know what happens after this. The plant multiplies itself and it's sold in stores. And so then people all around America are buying Audrey 2s and feeding people to the Audrey 2s. And eventually, when we get to the end of the film, it's basically a Godzilla remake, and man-eating plants are roaming around skyscrapers, eating people and destroying the world. And the Audrey 2s kind of just take over the world at that point in time. And I am a big fan of this ending. I'm not a big fan of the actual theatrical release of the film. In the actual theatrical release of the film, Audrey does not die. One, she survives almost getting eaten by the plant. Seymour saves her, and then Seymour's like, oh my gosh, I can't keep killing people. I gotta stop the plant. And then he uses electricity to electrocute the plant and kill it. And then Audrey and Seymour live happily ever after in their little home. And I'm just not a big fan of this ending, because if we look at the film as a whole in this beautiful, creepy, I don't know what else to describe it, this like, it's kind of dystopian-ish world that this film is set in. Frank Oz does a really good job like creating the sets and really immersing the audience into the world of the film. But it's like this like drab, dark place. You know, there's not much room for happiness. And they live in this place called Skid Row, and it's like we're all like, no one is able to survive here, you know, and like make a good life for themselves. And it's just a dark place, and it's the atmosphere that Frank Oz creates for the film. It's really cool and it is immersive, but I fear as though the ending doesn't really connect to what was going on, because yes, Seymour is a good person. I mean, they paint him out to be a good person, but at the end of the day, he was killing people. And then there is a deleted scene in which they didn't put this scene in the actual film in any of the versions that people saw, but there is a deleted scene of Seymour singing a song, and he's basically like, you know, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna keep killing people because this plant is making me rich and famous, and maybe Audrey will love me more if I have the plant by my side, so I'm just gonna keep killing people. So Seymour was killing people, and I think the original ending works because, you know, he gets his comeuppance. He is a murderer, and, you know, he dies. But the plant is also a murderer who, like, you know, kills people for a living to grow. But, like, you know, he's a cute guy. He has cute little plant children, and they look really cute, and they sing. And, you know, I'm rooting for the plant. Me personally, I am rooting for the plant because I think that the plant just brings a sort of charisma and charm to the film that no one else could. And I think that the original ending is cool because the plants take over the world, and it's literally Godzilla but plants, and it's fun. I don't like the happily ever after story, and I think that's why I say I don't like musicals, because it's always some, like, I don't know, stereotypical ending where everything ends right in the end and everyone's happy and blah, 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 blah. That's why I like La La Land. It's a musical for people who don't like musicals, because the musical doesn't end in a happy way at all. It ends in the saddest way possible, but it's good. That's a good musical, which is also why I like The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. See, maybe I don't like musicals. I lied at the beginning of this film. I don't like musicals. I'm not a fan of musicals. I am a fan of musicals for people who don't like musicals. I like the musicals that end in a terrible way, that leave a tear in your eye and it's sad. I don't like the stereotypical happy endings that we get. Bring back plants taking over the world, okay? Yes. That's all I wanted to talk about in today's video. If you haven't seen Little Shop of Horrors, please watch it. It is a fantastic film. Shout out Frank Oz. I think this is the first film he ever directed. It might be the only film of note that he directed, but I don't care. Frank Oz did his thing. Like, the songs in this film are really good. I don't know. It's just a fun movie, you know? It's not one of those like film bro, ooh, I'm gonna like analyze this and connect it to, you know, the time continuum and make a video essay about how the plant connects to it. It's not all about that. It's just a really fun movie to watch. You should watch it. If you're still here watching the video, thank you. I appreciate it. Please drop a like and subscribe. Join the Beam team. You know what I'm saying? We're fun people over here. Yeah. Drop a comment in the comment section down below and let me know your favorite musical in the comments, and then I'll know that you watched the video. And yeah, as we end all of our videos, one AirPod in at all times, drink water, pray, I love you, have a great day, peace out.